everyone, and welcome to Walk Away from the Workbook. If you're new here, my name is Nicole Seymour and I'm a kindergarten teacher in California. By the time you watch this video, I will have already had my very first day of in-person hybrid learning instruction. For the weeks leading up to that first day, I kept thinking, this isn't a very typical first day of school. I've known these kids since August, but what is typical about it is that these students have never been to our classroom before. They've never seen it other than in videos. They have never experienced it. They don't know what to expect. And so it got me thinking, a lot of parents probably worry what their kids need to know when getting ready for kindergarten. So this video is all about kindergarten readiness. I think you'll be surprised at some of the things on my list, but I have been teaching kindergarten for a long time, and these are things that I know other kindergarten teachers probably agree with. The first thing your child needs to be able to do before entering kindergarten is open up their snacks or any food that you send them with to school. If they are not able to open their snacks by themselves, their teacher will help them, sure, but remember that there are a lot of other kids in class and it's going to take a long time to open every single snack. One of the first things I do as a kindergarten teacher is teach my students how to open their snacks. But if your child comes already knowing how to open their snacks, then they can be a good leader for the rest of the students and show them that they can be independent and they can open up their own snacks without asking for help. If you're sending your child to school with water, make sure they can open their water bottle. I can't tell you how many times kids try to open those water bottles, but it's just too difficult for them. You might want to consider sending them to school with their own water bottle that's reusable, because those are often a lot easier for kids to manage at school. Make sure you check with your child's teacher before sending water bottles to school, because some teachers don't really like having water bottles in their classroom because they spill. Speaking of spilling, make sure your child knows what to do when water spills or any kind of liquid spills. When we're in the cafeteria, inevitably milk, water, juice, everything gets spilled on the table at least once during the day. It's very helpful if your child already knows what to do, so they are not the kid that is just staring at the spill and not doing anything about it as everything drips to the floor. I can't tell you how many times we've done watercolor activities in class, or when we've had snacks or parties and kids just watch the water drip off the table or watch the milk spread across the table and they don't know what to do. As adults, we think it's pretty obvious. Get some towels to sop up the mess. But kids don't understand that. They need to be taught that. And yes, that is something that a kindergarten teacher can teach your child, but it is helpful if they come in already knowing it. Something else you need to try to get your child to be able to do before they come to kindergarten is tie their shoes. If this seems like a big demand, let me just tell you that while I don't mind tying shoes for my students, I do mind when the shoelaces are wet, because I never know what they're wet with. Is it water? Is it juice? Is it milk? Or is it something else? If your child is struggling to tie their shoes, that is completely understandable. I would just recommend that when you buy them their next pair of shoes, make them slip-on or Velcro. That way your child won't have to stop their day to worry about their shoelaces getting dragged through whatever. Something else that it would be great for your child to know before they come to kindergarten is how to be kind and inclusive. I want to be clear that I do not force friendships on anyone. I don't force my students to be friends with each other or to play with every single person in the class. They all have different personalities. They're going to get along with different types of people. However, I still want them to know how to be kind and courteous to those around them. Making sure your child is equipped to make friends, ask kids to play, or problem solve is a great way to get them ready for kindergarten. And now I'll get into a few of the academic pieces that I would love if my students came in already knowing. I would love if my students came in knowing how to use scissors and glue. I would love if my students came in knowing how to hold a pencil and write their first name. If your child is having trouble doing that, or if you're finding that it's a battle, that's okay. It's just nice when students come in with those experiences. Playing with watercolor, coloring with markers, coloring with crayons, anything like that that they're going to be exposed to in class. It's always nice if they've already done it at home at least once or twice. And I know not everyone has access to scissors and glue and those kinds of supplies. Things can get pretty pricey. So I'm not saying that it is essential that your child does these things. I'm saying that it's helpful if they're able to do these things. So were you surprised with the list? Some of these things have nothing to do with academics, and that's because kids in kindergarten are just learning how to be independent. They are learning that they don't need their parents for everything. They don't need an adult to do things for them all the time. It's very hard for parents to let go. I know that as well. My son is going to kindergarten in the fall, and I have noticed how many things I do for him absent-mindedly. I'm not even realizing that I'm opening his snack for him or closing his water bottle or helping him tie his shoes because it has become second nature and I've been doing it since he was born. Once I started to think about what I like my students to be able to do when they come into kindergarten, I started to work on these things with my own child to make sure that he is ready for kindergarten and I am ready to send him to kindergarten. So what about you? What would you add to the list? Feel free to leave a comment below and let me know. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might find it useful. Until next time, see you guys soon. Bye.